Hey yo guys, what's up? This is Extreme from Jam Squad. Let me fix that a little bit. I'm gonna be doing another deck profile for Yu-Gi-Oh! For all you Yu-Gi-Oh! Loving fans. And this time it's gonna be of my Yosenju deck. Now this is probably the most competitive deck I currently have right now. I have 3 decks on me right now. And this is probably the most competitive. And this deck actually just went really cheap. I think the current build I have right now is about $50 to build. The main deck being about 50. So if you want a decently cheap deck that's quite competitive in the meta, this could be a good deck for you to pick up. And yeah, without further ado, let's get started. For starters, I run 3 of each of the Weevil Brothers, Yosenju, 1, Yosenju, 2, and Yosenju, 3. Yosenju, 1, basically, they're the Weasel Brothers, because they all chain off of their own effects. Each one has the effect of when it's normal summoned, I can normal summon another Yosenju monster except for their said name. And they all have certain effects that they have separately. Yosenju, 1, once per turn, when another Yosenju monster is normal summoned, target it allows me to compulse a face-up card my opponent controls. Yosenju, 2 has the effect of I can half this card's attack to attack directly. Yosenju, 3. Oh, whoops. That's Yosenju, 3. This is Yosenju, 2. Yosenju, 3 has the effect of once per turn, whenever a Yosenju monster besides 3 deals damage to my opponent, I can search for Yosenju monster, I'd like to think. No, add 1 Yosenju card from your deck to your hand. So it could be a Yosenju monster, or a Yosenju spell, or Yosenju trap. Yeah, and they all have the effects. Sorry, there's someone working on our yard right now. But they all have the effects of when at the end phase that they're normal summoned, I have to add them back to my hand. Yeah, so that's those. Then I have like this is considered like the adopted brother. 2 Yosenju Sujik. Whenever I only run 2. Well, I'll get to that later. This card is basically like the honest of the deck. Whenever this card's normal summoned, I can target 1 Yosenju monster. And it gains 1,000 attack until the end of the turn. Also has the effect of whenever I attack, or whenever a Yosenju monster I control is battles an opponent's monster, I can discard this card, and that card gains 1,000 attack until the end of the turn. So it's just another honest. I only run 2 because running 3 is unnecessary because of the fact that my deck searches quite a bit. I can just search for this card. Next, since I run the pendulum build, I run 3 Shinshu L's and 3 Shinshu R's. Shinshu L has the effect of when this card is normal summoned, change it to defense position. They both do. And then your opponent cannot target Yosenju monsters you control with card effects except for this one. And Shinshu R is basically the same, but for attacks. So only this card can be targeted for attacks. So yeah. Then for the last monster, I only run 1 Dieback, because there's only one need for There's only a need for 1. You can run 2 if you want to, but I find that there are a lot more better spells and traps that you can run in the deck, and running 1 is still really good, because you can search for it, and then it's pretty beastly. You can't solemn it, you can't bottomless it, you can't well, I guess you could bottomless it, but you can't solemn it, you can't Black Horn of Heaven it, and yeah, it's just an all-around good card. I don't even think you can bottomless it. I'm not sure though. But no, it all has the effect of during the turn that it's normal summoned or special summoned, I can target up to 2 cards on the field and return them to their hand, whether they be my cards or my opponent's cards. And then it also has the effect of during the end phase that this card was special summoned, return it to the hand. Only when it's special summoned, not normal summoned. But when it was special summoned, I return it to the hand. And it's a level 10, so this card is really good to go against like towers. Mainly in the current meta now, Towers, excuse me, I'm hiccuping too. Towers is like the card that you want to be able to go over, which is why my Ghost Tricks are having a lot of trouble with it, because Ghost Tricks can't go over towers to save their lives. But my Yosenju Dieback can go over towers, so that's really good. Yeah. For the spells, I run 2 Training Grounds, Yosen Training Grounds. This card is really necessary in this deck, and it makes the deck a lot more fun to play and a lot more consistent. Whenever a Yosenju monster is normal summon or special summon, I place a counter, and then you can activate one of these effects. You can take away counters to activate one of these effects, and you can only activate them once per turn, if that makes sense. So once per turn, I can either discard, take off 1 token, and then all Yosenju monsters you currently control gain 300 attack until the end of the turn. And then B, I remove 3 counters, and then I can add 1 Yosenju card from my deck or graveyard to the hand. So, mainly, most of the time, you want to use the third one just to go for dieback until you're ready to go for the first one. Because the first one you can actually OTK with fairly early. Like, if you get, like, all 3 of your Weevil Brothers, and then you get this, you can literally... And then, like, if you get Suijik, you can literally probably OTK first turn. So, yeah. A lot of people run 3, but I only run 2 because I put in a card, Yosen Whirlwind. I put this card in to go against the some meta decks. And this card's really good. A lot of people think it's really bad, but it's actually really good. It's called Yosen Whirlwind. And activate this card by paying 800 life points once per turn. If a face-up monster, a Yosenju monster you control, is returned to the hand, except during the damage step, you can target 1 card your opponent controls and return it to the hand during the end phase, unless this card's effect was activated this turn and was not negated to destroy this card. This card's really good for the fact that, and say if my opponent has a big monster on the field, and I just, like, want to get rid of it, I can just activate Yosen Whirlwind, normal summon one of my monsters, then during the end phase, send it back to my hand, and then doing that would pop that card back onto their back into their hand. So it's really good to get rid of big monsters or just problematic monsters. So yeah. I run 3 Tenkis. This is very essential in this deck. The Tenki is used for adding your Beast Warrior monsters, your comma 1, comma 2, and comma 3. Sometimes you can even add Suijik with this, but this helps you with the searching. Then I run 2 Pot of Duality. Pot of Duality is so broken, and a lot of people run 3. I'm actually kind of debating running 3, just because with this deck, Yosenjus, they normal summon like 5 times a turn if you get a good hand, just off their effects. So special summoning is not even really a thing unless you go for dieback. So yeah, you can really abuse this card with this deck. So, and everyone knows what Pot of Duality does. So I'm not going to get into explanation with this. I run 2 MSTs to get rid of Pendulum and Spell and Trap back row. Basically, mostly for Burning Abyss and Cleese. I run 2 Dark Hole. I don't run Raigeki in this deck. I could, but it's actually not really needed because most of the time during your main phase, you don't really even have any monsters on the field because they're all they're all compulsed back to your hand at the end of the phase. So having the Dark Holes makes it just like they're just Raigekis. You don't really ever Dark Hole your own monsters, unless like you're like in a really bad situation. But if you're in those bad situations, most of the time you kind of lose. 1 Divine Wind of the Mist Valley. It's only at 1, I think, but Divine Wind of the Mist Valley is good because since during the end phase I compulse cards, I can just special summon one of my big heavy defensive pendulum monsters in defense position because I do have some type of field afterwards. So yeah. And then 1 Bottomless for not Bottomless, Book of Moon for Book of Moon reasons. For traps, this is really just the main one. All you really need is Yosenju Secret Moves. This card's really good. It's like Dark Bribe on steroids with no disadvantage. Whenever a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated while you control at least 1 Yosenju card, and all face-up monsters you control are Yosenju monsters, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy this card. So basically, as long as you even have like a Yosenju as long as you even have a pendulum monster on the field, you can just keep activating this, and it's just like amazing. I run a lot of 1-ofs in this deck. I run 1 Mirror Force. I'm probably gonna end up bringing this to 2 because I do have a lot of times where I don't have any field, and Mirror Force really does help. But I only run 1 for now. 1 Vanity's Emptiness, because as I said, this deck only really normal summons, so I can just get rid of that special summoning that my opponent that happens. I can get rid of my whole opponent's thingy ability to special summon and just still plus off of it. 1 Torrential, because as I said, I don't really have a field, so whenever my opponent normal summons, like for the last time, or pendulum summons, I can just Torrential, and I won't have any disadvantages because I won't have any monsters on the field at my turn. Compulse, because Compulse reasons, and Bottomless, again, for pendulum summoning. That's my main deck. Now my extra deck is kind of flimsy, but it's actually really weak, because I don't have very many rank 4s, but it's really not even needed because of the fact that the deck's pendulum, and they work really well together, and they're not really ever needed. 1 Brotherhood of Fire Fist Tiger King, since I do run Beast Warriors, so Tiger King, yeah. 1 Maestroke for stalling purposes, and 1 Ragnarok for, or not Ragnarok, Ragnazero for Ragnazero purposes. You know, it's Ragnazero. Anyway, that's the deck profile. I hope you guys like it. Comment, subscribe, you know, what you think about the deck, if there's any changes you think I should do, any different things you guys think I should do. I'm also going to be for the since I haven't been doing a duel, haven't done a duel video yet, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking all the decks that I previously have done that I can find, and then I will be doing like a big like tournament style type ladder-ish thing, and I think that'll be really, really fun. And then I'll record those and I'll post those on YouTube. This is Extreme. I hope you guys liked the video. Please comment, rate, and subscribe, and see you guys later.